Representative Madison Cawthorn is someone who's found himself in multiple controversies since he entered Congress just about a year ago. But the latest controversy comes when he was speaking at a Republican Party North Carolina county office over the weekend when he said that fraudulent elections must be taken care of, and it's going to lead to one place if it's not, and he says it's bloodshed.
It looks like North Carolina Congressman Madison Cawthorn could be booted from the 2022 ballot. Welcome into TYT's Overruled. I'm your host, Adrienne Lawrence. A group of North Carolina voters have filed a lawsuit seeking to disqualify Madison Cawthorn from the 2022 ballot. On what grounds, you ask? Well, under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. It reads in relevant part, "No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or hold any office who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability." Translation: you can't be a member of Congress if you backed an insurrection. Now, the Free Speech for People, that's a group we've had on the Young Turks. I particularly interviewed the gentleman in the conversation. Well, they're the ones leading this charge here. The crux of their argument is that Cawthorn doesn't meet the federal constitutional requirements to represent the 13th Congressional District because he helped in executing the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Specifically, Free Speech for the People argues this. Representative Cawthorn promoted the demonstration ahead of time, tweeting, "The future of this republic hinges on the actions of a solitary few. It's time to fight," and he spoke at the demonstration. Furthermore, there are reports that he met with planners of the January 6th demonstration and possibly of the assault on the Capitol beforehand. It seems pretty clear that there's at least a reasonable amount of evidence that Cawthorn may have participated in the insurrection. But the question here becomes, who should decide whether Cawthorn is disqualified under the 14th Amendment? Section 3 of the 14th Amendment suggests that Congress is the one to decide who is disqualified. Remember the last sentence? But Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability. That indicates that Congress should be the one to decide whether Cawthorn qualifies. But Free Speech for People didn't file this challenge with Congress. It filed it with the North Carolina State Board of Elections, relying on an opinion that says that the state can disqualify a candidate from federal office if they are ineligible. And guess who wrote that opinion? Well, it was Justice Neil Gorsuch before he was elevated to SCOTUS. So this is going to be really interesting, and it's going to be something to watch because even if we ever reach the question of whether Cawthorn was involved in the insurrection, we still have to address that preliminary question of who gets to decide the very issue. So what are your thoughts? Should the state or should Congress decide who essentially is disqualified under the 14th Amendment? Let me know. Hit me up in the comments below. Also hit that like and follow button. And let's hope that somebody makes the decision before the midterms in 2022.